Hi, and welcome to my channel. Or if you're a returning subscriber, hello again. It's so nice to see you back here for another video. My name's Tess Lark, and this is an art and beauty channel. So if those are videos you're interested in, make sure you're subscribed because I'm here for you every single week. And this week, I am so excited to be back. I took a little bit of a hiatus, had a little bit of a summer vacation, which I think that I'm gonna probably end up doing yearly. It was just really nice to spend some time with my kiddo, some time with my fiance, get through all of our birthdays, and just readjust to the new summer schedule. But I've missed you guys a lot and I'm so happy to be back. And today I'm really excited because I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful floral tray using epoxy resin and alcohol ink and also some mica powder. If you're interested in seeing more of this technique, I actually do have a whole 3D resin flower playlist. So after you're done with this video, make sure you check out my other videos. This is a newer technique that I'm using where I'm doing a dark background with the 3D resin flowers. This technique is pretty straightforward and it's definitely suitable for beginners, but I did mix my resin in advance just to save time for this video. So if you're looking for a more step-by-step video on how to mix resin, I'll make sure to link another one of my videos in the description as well, so you can check that out for yourself. As always, I will have all of the materials that I used for this project linked down below. So if you'd like to try this project for yourself, all of that information will be down there for you. And without further ado, let's just hop right into this project. This mold holds 150 milliliters of resin, but we're going to be pouring this in 2 parts and letting it cure in between. So I went ahead and I mixed up 100 milliliters of resin here, and I've sectioned out just a little bit, maybe 20 milliliters or so of resin in each of these little cups. And to that clear resin, I'm going to go ahead and add my alcohol inks. I'm using Pinata colors. And when you're mixing pigments and resin, the general rule of thumb is 10% pigment to 90% resin, so that gives you a lot of playing room. So when I'm mixing my pigments, I'm making sure that I'm scraping both the sides and the bottom of my container, and I can check to see how the pigments are looking by looking at the end of my popsicle stick. Once I've got my pigments nice and mixed into the resin, I'll go ahead and hit them with my heat gun before transferring them into sandwich bags that I'll be using as piping bags. And one of you suggested that I put my bags into empty cups before pouring the resin in, and this has been so game-changing. You guys absolutely changed my life with that one. Thank you so much for the tip. So I'm just pouring that into there, and then I'm going to go ahead and get all of that resin to one corner, and I will twist that off and set it to the side before moving along and doing the same thing with the white resin. And this little cup trick really does make life so much easier. Instead of trying to hold the bag open and get all the resin in without making a huge mess, it's really just so easy, so much nicer to do it that way. And then I'll do the same with this one, where I get all the white to one corner and twist it off, and then I'm going to set those to the side until I'm ready to use them. So the next step is going to be to pour in the remaining clear resin, and I like to pour it from a kind of high angle in a slow, steady stream, and this just helps to pop some bubbles on the way down. So after I've filled in my mold, I'm going to go ahead and hit it with my heat gun. And when you're doing this technique, it's really important that you get resin all the way in the sides, because you don't want the resin to start slipping around, or it will start to kind of distort your flowers. The next step will be to very carefully cut the tip of your piping bags off. I decided to do the white one off camera for some reason. But then I'm going to go ahead and start making concentric circles. So I'm starting out with a darker color, and then I'm taking the white and just following that circle that I made, and then following it up with the purple. After that, I'll take a clean popsicle stick and start to drag those lines into the center to make a flower type pattern. So I'm going to make one larger flower and one smaller flower, and I'm also offsetting them so they're not directly on either side or in the middle, just to make it a little bit more organic. So I'm going right up to the edge, but I don't want the resin to start pulling over the sides, so I'm stopping right before I get to the rim. Once again, taking a clean popsicle stick and just drawing those lines into the center to create my flowers. Next, I'll carefully take my heat gun on the higher setting and I'll start to push the flowers in, working from the outside to the center of each flower. Then I'll go ahead and cover these up and let them set before moving on. Our first layer of resin's totally cured, and you can kind of see where the ink started kind of blending out together. I think it's going to look really cool, but we'll just move right along. So I've mixed up another 60 milliliters of resin here, and I'm adding some black. I'm using both mica powder and alcohol ink for this one. I also mixed up 60 milliliters instead of 50 milliliters of resin because I did lose a little bit of resin in my colored resin, and so I want to make sure that the total volume of this tray is full. So I'm just giving myself a little bit of extra resin here. So after I've got that black mixed in, I'll go ahead and hit that with my heat gun, and then I'll begin to once again pour that in to fill in the remainder of my mold. And I'm just going to use my popsicle stick to really scrape the sides of my cup and make sure I get as much resin into this mold as I possibly can. Once I've got it completely filled in, I'll go ahead and hit it once more with the heat gun and then cover it up for the night to let it cure completely. Alright, so I went ahead and I let the tray set up overnight. It's nice and cured, totally hard, and it's looking really cool from the back. So let's go ahead and pull it out of the mold and see how it turned out. Oh, and this is so pretty. You can kind of see where the resin started pulling into each other, but it really just gives this flower some really cool depth and dimension and some sort of movement to the piece. I absolutely love it. I was a little bit worried that you wouldn't be able to see the purple, but I think by adding the white in there as well, you really get that purple with still having this nice, beautiful, dark background. And thank you so much to Lainey. I saw your comment on my last video where I made some coasters with a dark background, the 3D floral coasters with a dark background, and you suggested doing purple. I know you said a purple background. I didn't completely understand the assignment, but I wanted to experiment with a color and a darker background, so I went ahead and used purple. But I definitely want to try these with using different color backgrounds as well. So if anybody has other color combinations you'd like to see, let me know down below in the comments. And there's not too much of a lip on the bottom of this piece, so I'm just going to go ahead and put some rubber bumpers on it to finish it up, and that way it won't scratch up any surface that it's resting on. So I've got my little rubber bumpers here, and I'm just going to go ahead and take 4 of these and place them on the back of my tray, just like that. And then this tray is all set and ready to go. I really think it turned out beautiful. I love the purple with the black background, and you do get that really shimmery effect from the mica powder. I'll definitely make sure to include some footage of this in the natural light so you can see it a little bit better, but overall I'm so happy with this piece. So I will be listing this one in my Etsy, and I do have some other trays that are in the same style in my Etsy as well. So if anybody wants to check that out, I'll make sure to have that link down below. It's a great way that you can help support my channel and my art if you feel so inclined. As always, thank you so much for being here. It really means the world to me, especially if you made it all the way to the end of this video. Thank you so much for clicking on my video out of all the videos that are out there. And if you did make it all the way to the end, leave me some sort of purple emoji in the comments so that I know that it's real. Also leave me comments if there is a specific technique or project that you'd like to see me try, or a different combination of colors. I'm always open to new suggestions, and I love hearing from you guys. Once again, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!